Hello children, let us start a new chapter. Chapter number 8, Materials and Solutions. Change in state. Everything around us is known as matter. Matter is anything that has mass and takes up space. As we can know that matter is anything that has mass and it takes space. So solids, liquids and gases are the three forms of matter that we know, that the three forms of matter are solid, liquids and gases. Any of these states of matter, when they undergo heating or cooling, can change their form. So on heating or cooling, the matter changes their form. A solid may change into liquid upon heating. Likewise, a liquid can change into solid upon cooling. So, this is known as the change of matter. The process in which a solid changes into a liquid on heating is known as melting. So, what is the definition of melting? The process in which a solid substance changes into liquid. It is known as melting. On heating, example is, on heating ice, that is solid, it melts into water, that is liquid. When candle also burns, its wax melts. So when candle burns, it also melts. Okay, what component melts? That is the wax. Okay. The process in which a liquid changes into vapors on heating is known as evaporation. So the process in which a liquid substance it changes into gas on heating is known as evaporation. For example, when water is heated, we can see vapor coming out of it. This happens due to evaporation of water. So the vapor that we can see when water is heated, so this happens due to evaporation of water. And the process in which a gas changes into liquid on cooling is known as condensation. So when gas is cooled, it changes into liquid. So this process is known as condensation. For example, when we keep a plate over a pan of boiling water, we can see the formation of water droplets on the surface of that plate. So on the surface of that plate, the droplets of water that comes, it is due to condensation. The process in which a liquid changes into solid is known as solidification. Okay, so solidification of liquids takes place when they are exposed to freezing. So when liquids are exposed to freezing, where it changes into ice, that is known as solidification. For example, when we pour water into ice trays and keep it in the freezer, that is refrigerator, we can see the water changes into ice after some time. Therefore, freezing is the reverse of melting. In case of melting, it changes from solid to liquid state, but in case of freezing, it changes from liquid to solid state. Changes in states of matter. There is a mistake in the picture. Solid, that is ice, cannot directly change into gas. Example of that is camphor or naphthalene, that can change directly into gas. Next, info hub. From the surface of liquids, evaporation takes place all the time. It is slow at lower temperatures. When the temperature is low, evaporation rate is slow. As the temperature increases, the rate of evaporation also increases. Okay, now see the effect of heating on particles in solids, liquids and gases. As you can see, In the solids, the molecules are very tightly packed. In liquids, the molecules are loosely packed. In gases, the molecules are very loosely packed. So, heating and cooling affect the movement of particles in matter. The particles move at a faster rate when they are heated, and the particles move slowly when cooled. So, this is the effect that is shown over here. Okay. Next, solute, solvent and solution. Add 1 spoon of sugar in a glass of water. Stir it continuously. The sugar seems to have disappeared. It has actually dissolved in water. So, with this experiment, you can very easily understand, if you add 1 spoon of sugar in a glass of water and if you stir it, then what will happen? The sugar, you will see that the sugar has completely disappeared because it has actually dissolved in water. A solution is a mixture in which a solute dissolves in the solvent at a particular temperature. So, what is a solution? When a solute, example sugar, dissolves in a solvent, example water, at a particular temperature, so that forms a solution. The substance that dissolves is known as the solute. In this case, sugar is the solute. The substance in which the solute dissolves is known as the solvent. In this case, water is the solvent, and together solute and solvent form the solution. From the above example, we can easily see that when sugar is mixed in water, so sugar is the solute, water is the solvent, and the mixture that is formed, that is known as the solution. Now, substances that form solutions when they are mixed with a liquid are called soluble substances. Example of some substances that dissolve in water are, so these are the substances which are completely mixed into liquids. What are the examples? Oxygen, carbon dioxide, milk, sugar and salt. Any two liquids that can mix in each other completely. When the any two liquids mixes with each other completely, they are known as miscible liquids. Examples of miscible liquids are milk and water. Ink and water, another example. Substances that do not form solutions when they are mixed with water are called insoluble substances. These substances do not get mixed and settle as different layers. So, all of you know that? All of you know, I guess, that which kind of substances are those? Oil and water. If we try to mix oil and water, it will never be mixed. So, any two liquids that do not mix completely are called immiscible liquids. And what are the examples then of immiscible liquids? Oil and water. Okay. Separation of soluble substances. Soluble substances can be separated from a solution by the method of evaporation. With the help of evaporation, they can be separated. So, for example, to acquire the salt from the salt water, how to acquire means how to take out the salt from the salt water. We have to heat the water until evaporation occurs. After some time, we will see all the water will disappear. Then which thing will be left behind? The salt. So, this is the way of separation of soluble substances like salt and water. Separation of insoluble substances. Now, how to separate the insoluble substance? Insoluble substances can be separated from a liquid using the following methods. What is the method? Filtration. This drawing of filtration is very important. All of you will draw this picture in your notebook. So, what is this process? In this process, a solution is passed through filter paper. So, with the help of filter paper, a solution is passed. Pour the mixture onto a filter paper inside a funnel as shown. Okay. So, a mixture, any mixture or any solution, we have to pour it onto a filter paper, which is placed, that you can see, this is placed inside a funnel. This is the funnel marked with pink color container, that is the funnel. Okay. Now here the liquid passes through the filter paper and the insoluble substances are left behind. The substances which are insoluble or not soluble, they are left behind on the filter paper. Okay, they will be left behind on the filter paper, and we can use this method to separate sand from water. If there is a mixture of sand and water, water will easily pass through the filter paper, whereas the sand will be left behind on the filter paper. Next is sedimentation and decantation. The method of sedimentation and decantation can be used to remove insoluble impurities, the things which are not soluble. Those are known as insoluble impurities. In this process, let the impure water stand for some time. So what we have to do, simply without moving the container, we have to keep it so that it stands for some time. Leaving particles of impurities, larger particles of impurities will settle down. So in this process, what will happen, if we keep it like that, the larger particles of impurities will settle down at the bottom of the water, leaving clear water on the top, and the clear water will be left on the top. This process is known as sedimentation. So this process is known as sedimentation, where we will see the impurities will settle down in the form of sediments. Now very carefully, without moving the container, we will have to pour the clean water into another vessel, and this process is known as decantation. This experiment also, this drawing also, you will draw in your science notebook. Suspended, what is the meaning of suspended? Undissolved particles in a fluid. Fluid means liquid, kept for sinking, which will sink. So this is known as suspended. So this portion is there in the chapter. Read the chapter thoroughly and draw the pictures, that is solute, solvent and solution, this picture of page 98, filtration picture, and this decantation. Thank you. Have a nice day.